Hi, Randy Jessen here again with another one of our conversations about United Methodist polity. I greet you in the name of our risen Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I've served under a number of bishops now, but I've served for 8 years under the ministry of Bishop Marianne Swenson. And Bishop Swenson used to like to say that we were the people of 3 books, the Bible, the hymnal, and the Book of Discipline. And those 3 books guide all of our journey. The hymnal gives us this rich history that helps us understand who we are as the people of faith. The Bible obviously describes for us the faith itself and the historic dynamics that go into our faith journey, those kind of prophetic teachings that move us into the future. And the Book of Discipline gives us our structure, our organization, our details about how we are going to operate together. I want to share with you just a minute as we think about the section on ordained ministry, as we think about what it means to be called to be elder, deacon, local pastor, how we're going to be credentialed in the demonstration of our ministry gifts. Now, we recognize that every single Christian, every baptized person has been called and gifted for some kind of mission and ministry. But there are some who are called out, who are set apart, who are identified by the church to become leaders in a particular way. That would be the elder, deacon, local pastor, and we might even include the idea of associate member in that whole concept. You'll read more about associate members as well. And those individuals can express their ministry in a number of different ways in different places. Some will do it directly through the life of the local church. That's been my dominant avenue. I've also had the opportunity to express ministry through the academy, through the academic setting with the seminary. But now I have an opportunity to be able to share with you some of that personal experience and some of that journey. I want to share with you this painting. A larger version of it exists on the wall at First United Methodist Church in Colorado Springs. It's a wall-size painting. It was painted by a Jewish artist, and he wanted to paint the crucifixion. And so he began to paint the crucifixion as it was depicted in the Gospel of John. And if I could show you much closer, you would see that all the way written through the painting is the words of the Gospel of John, written deeply etched into the oil-based paint. But in the center is the image of Christ. It's interesting because he started off painting the crucifixion, and when he was finished, he discovered that it wasn't really the crucifixion that made all the difference for him. It really was the ascension. And so he eliminated the cross, and what we have is the ascension of Christ. The Lord has ascended, and we recognize the presence of God in our lives every single day. And as we think about what that means to be people who not only recognize our faith, but people who are called to express our faith in a certain kind of way, there's a very significant gift that comes along with that. And that gift is the opportunity to express faithfulness and obedience. Those 2 ingredients become really critically challenging for us. They also become an incredible blessing for each one of us. Now, as I gather here on Sunday morning, it's part of my Sunday morning ritual to come together to be able to make sure that everything is in order, and I've had plenty of time to be able to pray and then to engage the people. And through the day, we'll have 3 different worship experiences, and those experiences will be supported by a number of different individuals who come as part of the staff or part of a volunteer team, and we'll give thanks for every single one of them because each one of them has gifts. 1 Corinthians 12, Romans chapter 12, Ephesians chapter 4 speaks to us about the gifted nature of believers of Christ. Those who are followers of the Lord have particular gifts, and those gifts are expressed in certain ways. And it's always a great blessing to be able to identify the gifts that God has given us and recognize that those gifts sometimes change as we age, as we mature, as we express ministry, as we are called to different types of settings, as we have different kinds of expressions of ministry. Those gifts might change. But the expression of those gifts is really the key to what God has asked us to do in the expression of faithfulness and obedience. I pray as you read this section about the ordained ministry in the Book of Discipline this week, that you will not just read it as the details of all of the experiences that you need to complete in order to fulfill your journey toward credentialing. But I pray that you will read it with eyes that are open to the possibility. You know, the book of Ephesians talks about opening the eyes of our hearts, that you will read it with eyes of your heart that are open, so you will see something new and something deeper about your particular call, your particular expression of ministry. That would be a gracious gift, because as you express your ministry, you'll have a chance to be able to impact countless numbers of people over the years. And that's really what the whole process is about, isn't it? It's about making disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. And the Book of Discipline is very clear that the local church is really the best place for that to happen. So regardless of how you express your full-time, long-term mission ministry, the local church will still be a foundational base for you. And the crucifixion and the ascension of the Lord, the gifts that God has given you, and the blessing that comes because you express those gifts with faithfulness and obedience, that will be a remarkable gift that you offer unto the Lord and unto the history and the future of the church. Now, you'll see the assignment online this week. I pray that you'll take some time to be able to write those paragraphs that I've invited you to write about the nature of ordination, theological understandings about the nature of ordination. If you've already written some of your credentialing materials, your documents for the Board of Ordained Ministry, you'll recognize that as one of the topics that you need to address. If you have not yet written those documents, you'll find this exercise to be very helpful, because you can move it directly from this experience into that document. So do that with great diligence and faithfulness. I do want to give you a little insight as well into the nature of the closing assignment, the document that you will be writing. And so that document is your choice. You can select an issue of United Methodist polity, whatever it is that you feel like is really going to be informative and helpful to you and your ministry. Don't pick something that just seems to be a hot topic or something that seems to be kind of an easy approach. But pick something that seems to be unique that you would like to address. You might want to address it from the point of view of how you would support it. You might want to address it from the point of view of how you would transform it, what kind of change you see might need to happen, and how that change would take place. So by the time we write that document, you will have experienced kind of the fullness of understanding about our administrative structure that deals with our conferences of general conference, jurisdictional conference, annual conference, the district conference, and our local church conference, the charge or church conference. And in that process, you will know the various steps that you would need to go through to be able to address the change in an issue in the Book of Discipline. But select something that's going to be helpful for you. Write a concise document. I'm not so concerned about details of footnotes and things of that sort. I'm more concerned about your ability to think through and integrate the various components that you've discovered in your theological understanding and in your understanding of the Book of Discipline. So integrate the different components from the Book of Discipline into your document, and you will be in great shape. I do pray that you will let me know of any issues or concerns that you might have, and I do appreciate those of you who have been able to let me know what's happening in personal life or in ministry life. It gives me a chance not only to understand the dynamics of the classroom interaction, but it also helps me know how to pray for you. And so this morning I will pray for you as I enter into a time of prayer for this morning worship services. We'll have services at 8 o'clock, 9:30, and 11 o'clock in three different formulas, three different styles. But in that process, I'll be praying for you as well, and it'll be a gracious gift to be able to do that. So I pray just now that the Lord will bless you and that give you a chance to be able to worship and to worship well, and that you'll know the power of God in your life and the gifts that God has given you, and that you'll express those gifts through the call that has been placed upon your life. And that journey will be a gracious journey of faith. God bless you. I look forward to seeing you next time and to seeing you online. Take good care. God bless. Bye-bye.